Hi, welcome to another Figma tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to create a beautiful typography system so that it can work for both desktop and mobile and it consistent across the board. So let's start. First we need to click on the resources panel, and if the component tab is selected, let's click on the plugins tab, and inside the search let's type scale. Figma will suggest some type scale plugins, but I like this plugin, so let's run this plugin. Okay, so on the left side it's showing me sizes of the scale from large to small, and in the center basically this is the preview of each size so that we can create and see the contrast of typography. On the right side this is basically the modifier panel, so here we can modify our type scale to make it more personal. Let's discuss about the base size. So 16 is the standard nowadays. Below 16 it's not recommended, like sometime accessibility issues, so most of the time they recommend to use 16. Sometime I use 14, but normally I use 16, 18 and 20. It's really depend upon the project. Okay, so let's leave 16 in the base size, and now let's talk about the scale. Let's quickly review each scale like minor second. So as we can see it's very close to each other and there is no big difference in the typography sizes. It's good especially for mobile application and smaller UI interfaces. Okay, next is the minor second, which is also a good scale for mobile and smaller size UI interfaces. Okay, the third one is the minor third, which is a cool like system as we can see, and the most important, it's relevant to the 8-point system like 48, 40, 33. So this is a good place to start. One quick tip: if there is like a large typography in the website, so we don't need to make big typography, like for example if there is a blog site or any blog related design, so they are heavily rich on typography and a lot of text, so normally the smaller type scale will work. Okay, so the major third, it's also a good place to start because the hierarchy and the gap is very sweet inside each scale, like 6149. It's also close to 8-point system but slightly need modification. Okay, and golden ratio, yeah, it's amazing because if you are working some modern websites, so these kind of scale nowadays are very popular. Perfect port, as we can see the gap between and the size scalability is high. Okay, now let's talk about augmented font. As we can see a huge typeface, so modern websites are nowadays using this kind of typography like big typefaces. Let's type creative mind, one word or two word in these kind of big words, popular trend. And golden ratio, wow, it's really huge. And as we can see, like nowadays websites are using this kind of typography inside each section and which is moving from left to right, so this is a cool effect. And this scale is really great for that kind of creative work. But for now let's stick with the major third, and now let's move to line height. Let's leave the line height for now because we will modify this later inside Figma, so let's leave 1.2 for now. Okay, the next is this upscale, which is 6, so it is good from H1 to H6, so let's leave it 6. Okay, so the downscale, let's increase the sizes to 4. Okay, the last one is the round values, which is if I turn on this, so basically this convert the scale to decimal. It's hard for me to work with the decimal values, so let's round the values. And now it's time to generate the scale, so let's go. Okay, so as we can see our scale is generated inside Figma, and first thing is to rename our frame typography. Okay, and the next step is to make the frame to 1440 fixed width. Okay, so now let's select the frame and let's press enter key to select inside the frame, and let's make it fill container. Now press again enter key and make it fill container, and now let's see if there is any. Now again let's make it fill container. No, there is no inside, so all of the elements now fill container, which is good. So now, okay, so the first thing is to select this frame. Let's zoom in, let's cut this. We don't need this frame, so let's inside. The base value is 16, so let's type 1 rem equal to 16. Okay, so now hold on, press 5 and let's paste the scale. So this is our scale. Now let's remove this value. Okay, so now let's select all these elements. We can select this and let's make it vertical layout. Now let's select this duplicate and let's type style guide. Okay, and for the type let's use work sense. Okay, and for the size let's use 40, and this is basically the title, so work sense. Here is no other cases, so let's leave it regular. Okay, and the next thing is to let's draw a line and let's make it fill container. For the color let's make it 10, maybe 20, and let's use 4. Okay, and now let's duplicate. Let's type typography, again duplicate this and make type base, and let's use 24. Now let's duplicate this, let's make this 96. Use the font enter because we have used enter, and let's make this bold. Now let's type the font name enter. Okay, so now let's duplicate this. By the way, I'm using Command D and Control D for the duplication and arrow key for moving up and down. So now let's make it enter and let's leave it regular, but for the size I think let's use 40. Okay, let's zoom in, type A B C, and now let's make it smaller case, so let's use this. We can also use the uppercase and lowercase from here. Okay, now let's type numbers. Let's select and make it 32. Now right click and create auto layout, and for the spacing I think let's use 16. Yeah, 16 is fine. Now select all these things and let's make it 16. Now let's duplicate this, let's make it 2 and make it 10. Zoom in. By the way, I am pressing shift 2 to zoom to selection. Select this frame, make it one line, so I will just remove the second line. First let's zoom in so that we can clearly see 61 pixel. Type slash the rem value and let's type the line height. For the line height let's use 64px. For the rem, basically the rem value is used especially in website. It's good practice to convert every pixel value to rem. For example, if our size is 64, so 64 divided by our base size 16, so 4 is our rem value. So let's type 4 rem. It is good practice to also cover the rem value. Now select the line, copy and paste inside this frame. And this is also auto layout, but let's make it 1. Let's select these both elements, line and the upper small text, and let's see if the 8 or maybe 16 is fine. So let's use 16. Okay, so first we need to modify our size and then we will run the plugin. So for first size, let's make it 64. Let's stick with the 8-point system, so 64 is okay. Now let's run the plugin. So the frame is selected. Now go to again plugins, and inside the plugin let's type change text. Let's run this plugin. Okay, so let's first type Creative Mind to H1 and update. Okay, so to run the plugin we need to select the frame, and now let's go to plugin and run the plugin. Copy this line, and so instead of 61 we have converted our typography to 64. So let's use 64 px, and for rem, and for the line height let's use 72 px, and for the rem value, so let's type 60 divided by 16, so it's 4.5. so let's use 4.5 rem. So let's update this, and as we can see it's updated. And now let's update our type. So it is 64 for the line height. Let's make it 72, and also again run the plugin. So if you want to run the last plugin, just press command key and /, and here we will type change text, and it will open the last plugin. So for the Creative Mind, let's use heading 1 and update one last thing. Okay, now let's just duplicate this and select both top and bottom frame, and again convert it to auto layout with shift A, make it horizontal layout. Now let's duplicate this again, so regular, medium, semi bold and bold. Okay, so now let's maybe we can type H1 and let's type regular. For this one let's type now let's update style. Let's make this one bold, semi bold, medium, make it medium and regular. Okay, we have created our first H1 scale. Now we just need to just duplicate this, and now let's run the plugin and let's make H1 to H2. Okay, and for the H2 we will use like 48. So let's again run the plugin and let's copy the value here, and let's make it 48 px. For the rem value 3 rem, and for the line height let's make it 48, so let's make it 56 px, and 56 divided by 16, so 3.5 is the rem value. So let's type 3.5 rem, and let's update this. So as we can see it's completely update in all places, which is very cool. So we have already followed the 8-point system and we have created our beautiful type system. Okay, now let's delete this one. Okay, and now work on the text sizes. Let's create the text sizes. Okay, so for the text sizes let's duplicate the line. Maybe, yeah, let's see if this is working. Create some separation inside the headings and the text. So I think the line thickness is good. Maybe we can just reduce to make it 2. Okay, so again maybe we can just duplicate this, and we have already created all the system, so let's reuse it. Okay, so run the plugin. Let's copy So the first large, this one will be okay. So this one will be our large text, this one will be our medium, this one will be regular, this one will be small, and this will be extra small or tiny. So let's delete this one. Okay, so now 20 and 1.2 rem is good, and line height and the spacing, everything is good. I think we don't need to change this, but just run the plugin again, and let's make h6 to large text. Okay, so this is our large text, and 3248, why it's not copied across? Okay, now let's run the plugin. Here is some mistake, so let's remove this. Let's copy this and paste it here, and let's copy this one and paste it here. Let's update. Yeah, it's updated. Okay, maybe I select a specific area, so it didn't update across. So let's update all quickly. Now let's select this section, let's run the plugin, and let's copy this text, and let's copy this one and update. Okay, so this is our large text. I did mistake, so now we have recovered the mistake, and large text is created. Now let's work on the medium, then on regular, small, and tiny. So let's quickly create those. Now let's run the plugin. First we need to update the text, so change the large text to medium text, update. Okay, now next we need to run the plugin, and let's see if we have 20 px 1.5 rem. Okay, so let's select this and make it 18 px, and 18 divided by 16, 1.25 rem. For the line height, maybe we can use 24 px, or maybe use 28. Let's use 28 px for the line height, and 28 divided by 16, sorry 16, so it is 1.75. so let's use 1.75 rem. Okay, so now let's update this. Okay, and now let's update the text to 18, and for the line height let's make it 28, but select the first one, and I think let's change the text to 20. Let's make 20 px, and the line height is 28. So let's again select the 20 px, and the line height let's change to 32. Let's make it 32 px, and for the rem value divide by 16, so it is 2. So let's use 2 rem. Okay, and just update and select the text which is 20, and for the line height let's use 32. Okay, and for this one we have already made 28, which is good. So our medium text is created. Now it's time to create the regular text, so just duplicate this, and now again run the plugin, and let's first change medium to regular and update. Okay, and next thing is again run the plugin and select, just copy 18 and paste it here, and now update it to 16 px slash 1 rem, or 16 is our base text size, so 16 equal to 1 rem. And for the line height, for the 16 we will use 24 px and 1.5 rem. Just update it. Okay, and it's time to update our main text, so let's select these separately. Okay, and now let's make it 16, and for the line height let's use 24. Okay, so our style guide is completed. Let's select the main frame, and for the spacing let's use 80, so it's like more visible. Okay, so we have already created our type system. So as we can see, from h1 to h6, and from large text to tiny text, so it's time to generate our local style. So let's start and follow the steps. Okay, so first we need to select h1 specific sizes like this, not this one. So for this selection you just need to hold down command key and shift key both, so it will select inside the group and the specific layers. Okay, next, as we can see, the generator text generic name like type @61, which will not work in the plugin to generate style. So first let's clear the name. So for clear the name we will use plugin called layer name cleaner. So let's run this plugin, layer name cleaner. So as we can see, it's removed the existing name and convert it to the layer content, like h1 regular, so h1 regular, h2, h1 medium, h1 semi bold, and h1 bold. Now let's press command R and let's type heading slash h1 slash current name. Okay, and rename this. As we can see, now it is heading, so heading will be the main folder, and inside the folder is called subfolder h1, and inside the h1 there is h1 all sizes. So now let's generate the style. So again press command slash and let's type styler, inside styler generate style. So let's generate and show that 4 styles created. Now deselect everything and it show the local style. So this is h1 bold, and this is great to put inside a specific folder. So h1 folder, inside folder, this is the sub, like all the styles h1 listed here. So now let's select h2, run the same plugin layer name cleaner, and now let's rename this heading slash this one is h2 slash current name. So now let's rename this and again run the plugin generate style, and as we can see h1, and now this is h2, 48, 56, regular, medium, semi bold, and bold. Okay, now let's speed up the process, and voila, we have all heading inside h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. Okay, and this is main heading. Okay, so now it's time to create text. So for the text, let's select first the large text, and as we can see plugins have a default generic name. So first let's clean the name. So layers name cleaner, run the plugin, and it's rename the layers to the content. Now let's rename this, command R, and let's type text slash large slash current. Oh, I think okay, let's do one thing first. Let's remove the text from here. Okay, and let's rename this. Now again let's rename it proper. So sorry, text slash large slash current name. And okay, now let's run the plugin and let's see. Yeah, large, bold, large, medium, and inside the main folder text, subfolder large, and here is all the sizes for the large. Now let's create medium. So first we need to select medium text. Next we need to run the plugin layers name cleaner, and as we can see all the names clears. Now let's remove the text word, rename this, and now again let's type text slash medium slash, and let's use this. Okay, and now let's generate style and let's see medium. So now we have all styles in very organized way, so we can expand, collapse each style and apply. So it's a great practice to do it with this way. So now as we can see our style guide is generated, and we have the base style and also the panel. So now let's say if we can create a frame for again desktop, and let's select text and let's type creative mind always work. Okay, and let's type H1 bold. Great. Now let's just type text. So okay, now let's go to Libsyn plugin and run. It's loading. Okay, so now let's generate 5 sentences. Okay, and now let's apply our text sizes. For example, this big text, and now let's make this one and select both auto layout. Let's use 32 or maybe 40. Okay, so now this is our H1 bold, maybe semi bold. So as we can see our style is generated, and let's make this one 50%. So this is our typography system. So hope you like the video. If you like the video, please like, share, comment and subscribe.